Hello everyone, welcome back to EazyTutor. In this video we are going to see how to fetch top 10 processes from Windows platform. We are not going to use psutil module for this process fetching thing. We are going to fetch as it is plain Python. We are not going to use any additional modules here, so we can learn few concepts from Python. So I'll show you what we are going to learn from this video from doing this particular example. So first one, popen. This is from subprocess module. So this will help us to execute any system level commands, or it will help us to open a new process. So we are going to see how to utilize this for getting the top process list. And lambda, we are going to see what is lambda and how to use and where we are going to use in this particular example. And list comprehension, you could have been aware of this, how to use list comprehension. And sorting, instead of plain sorting, we are going to see how to use key based sorting here. So let's start with an example. See, to fetch process list, basically psutil module also will use system level commands to fetch the processes. And in Windows you can fetch the process details using two types. One is using a plain command, another one is using PowerShell. You can type task list and you'll see the list of processes running and the memory usage of each process. You can see the first one is image name, which is nothing but which exe is used by that process. Second one is process ID, and last one is, you can see, memory usage. So we are going to fetch top 10 processes which consumes higher memory, usage. Okay, so this is one method. Another one is, you can go to PowerShell, and here get process. See, get process, this also will list the same output. In PowerShell, as you know, you can do a lot of things like you can select only particular columns, like we do in awk in Linux, a process name and CPUs. You can select by this, like select process name, you'll get only process name, and CPUs, CPU probably, yes, so you'll get both. So like this also we can do in PowerShell, but we are not going to do with PowerShell now. So we are going to execute this task list command inside Python, and we are going to store this data and sort based on memory usage and get the top 10. That's what we are going to do in this script. For that, first we define one function, get top process. Here, this is the command we are going to execute. Okay, to execute this command, we need to run command process and run this script. This task list command is basically will be executed in Windows command prompt. So for that, let's import from subprocess, import popen. This is a module we are going to use, and there is one more. I import pipe. I'll tell you why I'm importing that. Okay, first let's declare one main and get top process. Okay, here I'm going to just execute this and fetch the output. To execute any command, either it can be in Linux or in Windows, we are going to use popen. For that, let's say popen, and this is a command I am going to execute, and I need the command line std output and if there is any error, I need that error as well. For that, there is one option, std out in popen. What this argument I'm going to give is pipe. So I'm going to ask to just forward this std output to the first variable which I accept. The next one is std error. If there is any error, pipe it that as well. So I'll store here output comma error. So it will return as a tuple and it will be piping the std out and std error to the variable output and error. When you say dot communicate, the newly created process will be triggered. Okay, now all the std and std out will be piped to the corresponding variables once we trigger communicate. Now let's try to just print output sorry, decode and error dot decode. Okay, let's try to run this first. Okay, print decode and error dot decode. So you can see the same output we have received now. So like this you can trigger any command here. So I can show you one more sample if you want. Let me convert this as Python Jupyter cell. So I'll import this as well. Okay, this is one cell, this is one cell. Fine, let it be separate one. Yes, so we have imported here. Let me run this. So this inside VS Code itself, a Jupyter notebook will be running. Yes, on right side you can see the cell and Jupyter server is running here. We have imported this and I'll compile this function. Okay, it's done. Now here you don't need this as well. You can directly call get top process. Okay, I'll run this. When you hit shift enter, you will be running that cell. Okay, here we have that output. What I was trying to tell you is, if there is any other command which you want to run, this is a simple task list, but if you see how to utilize this popen to start notepad or to start one command prompt, you can do like this. I'll show you here. Open. What I'm going to do is cmd. Just I'll run this. Let me run this. Instead of that, we'll give the exact location of one exe. It's a notepad exe. I'm going to give notepad.exe. This is the exe I'm going to start using this process. I'll put this, run. What is the error says? System cannot find the followed path. Give that. We start a notepad. So like this we can pass any arguments to an exe. So literally you can execute any command which you execute through command prompt. So like this we can utilize popen. And okay, now let's come to our task. This is the output. So let me store this with decoded format, and let's go by line, and we'll store this process as a key and the memory usage as a value in a dictionary. So I'll declare one dictionary here, proc data, and let me loop over this. For line in output dot split slash or slash n is a line separator in Windows. Okay, let's just try to print this one line. So one by one it should come. Okay, just compile and running this. Okay, this is the latest output we have received. We have got this. Fine. Now let's try to split this. If you split by space, let's see what it gives. You see, split it, and it gives a lot of empty string as well, because there will be a lot of empty spaces here. So we'll simply remove that line data equal to. Here we are going to use list comprehension. So just x for x in line dot split. If it is non-empty, just skip it. So let's see what we get here. And sorry, let's come down. Let me trigger this. Yes, you can see we have nearly proper data, but if you see, there can be some processes which has a space in the name itself. If you, for example, you can see this memory compression. This had space in the process name itself, memory space compression. So it separated this as well. So we will see how to solve this this problem. So we assume the last one is the notation of memory usage kV. Before that, the actual memory usage is there. And if you see, for most of it, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements will be the same data type. The first one is memory usage, the second one is actual number of memory usage, this is a notation, and the third one is probably something like session number and the name and PID, so and so. So what I am trying to say is, the only information we need is the -2 from this split, and from 0 we'll go for negative indexing. -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 to -5 is our process name. So let's just print only those two for each line. Let's print this 0 to -5. This is the one which is process name, and another one is line data of -2. So these are the only details we need from this output. So let's try. Okay, list index is out of range. You know, there will be some empties as well. That is a problem. So before that, you check after removing if line data is available. Just do so. You can see now only process names, and in this case you can see we received both of these items, memory and the compression, and the last one is memory usage we have received. And if you see from the top, there will be headers as well. You can see this image name and this lines and system idle, these two actually. So these two also we need to remove. So for that, you can straight away do like this. So remove the first two lines and get the remaining data. So which means we need to remove one more, this one. So if you see, this will be the proper one, correct? System idle process in 8. Okay, now we have our memory memory usage is proper. Only thing is we need to remove the command all, and the process name here, somewhere we have only one element, somewhere we have multiple elements. So we'll simply join it using space. This is a string join method. Okay, now we'll have a proper process name and proper memory usage. Here you can see is where is that one, the memory compression thing? See, this has come as a single string, the remaining is the size. Okay, now we can store this. Let's store. And if you see, there is a multiple svc host.exe as well. So what we need to do is, if we need to get the accumulated size of this processes, svc host.exe, there are multiple processes running, we need to sum it up. So for that, what we need to do, since we are storing that as a dictionary, we'll check whether that exists or not. If that exists, we'll add the current value. If it does not exist, we'll store that as a 0. So for that, we need to do like process name, I'll store like this is whatever process name. Okay, memory usage, I'll store the last one, but here I need to replace the comma to empty, then I need to convert that as integer. You try with handling exceptions and all. So I have fetched these two variables, and I am going to check if proc name in proc data, if it is already there, just proc name plus equal to memory usage. If it is not, just initiate empty, which is 0. Okay, now we have stored the accumulated data. Let's try to print the total 1 after completing the full set. Okay, now let's run. What is this error? Okay, line indentation error. Okay, fine. Memory usage, what is that? Join method we need to finish. Okay, it got compiled properly. Now I am running. Okay, we got this detail. Now we need to sort this dictionary. Now while sorting, we can sort specific key based as well. For that key based, there is one key argument in sorted function. You can see key argument. For this, we need to provide a function which returns which value I should use for sorting. For this purpose only, we are going to use lambda. Lambda is basically an anonymous function, and which where we don't need to keep that function after this line of execution. So just for this purpose, I'm going to use lambda. If I am going to reuse the same function, I'm going to declare that as a separate definition and use it. Since it's going to be used only once, and I don't need to give any think of any name and all for this function, I can use lambda for that purpose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get proc name comma memory usage in sorted is a function, and proc data dot items is the data I'm going to use. Okay, dot items, and this items is going to be passed, and lambda x, this x is the items, and what I am going to return is x of 1, which is the value of the dictionary, the value of proc data. So this sorted will sort proc data dictionary based on the value, and it'll keep in ascending order. So I'm going to reverse it as well, and I'm going to take only top 10. So this, using slicing, we get only top 10. So let's see, proc name comma memory. So let's compile this. Okay, done. Let's run this. If you see, this print also has occurred. If you see, these are the processes which takes higher usage. You can see this is a total number of KB and 944648. You can see it comes as a descending order. So that's it. We have fetched the top 10 memory usage processes without using psutil. So you have learned how to execute the normal commands which you use in Windows. The same applies for Linux as well. Depends on the std out which Linux gives. You may need to pass that output and fetch the proper data which you want from that output. So hope you like this and you have learned something by doing this example, and I'll meet you guys with another video. And if you like this video, please subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching.